This is real hard. I just can't think of the words to describe how good they are. No matter how you want to look at them, they are just done incredibly well. I think the best part of them though is how the sand was done. It's just incredible how good it looks. The game uses an original soundtrack. It works well and fits into the world of Naruto. Attacks and effects also have the proper sound effects, so sound gets a good grade. Also known as Ultimate Mission Mode, the basic flow is based off two types of missions. The first are story missions, and the second are ranked missions. In order to do the story missions, you need a certain amount of mission experience. You gain this experience by completing the ranked missions. These missions have conditions you must fulfill, making the fighting in story mode slightly different from that of Versus. Apart from the primary condition, you also have two secondary ones, which, apart from earning you more money, are needed to get 100% completion. This, of course, helps add to the story mode. One of the highlights of the story mode are the giant battles. While only 3 in the game, they are some of the most fun. Apart from the obvious changes to the basic fighting, the reaction sequences also make these fights unique, as well as being some of the coolest looking things in the game. The story missions take you through the story of Naruto from the start until chasing after Sasuke. It covers every important fight with the exception of Zabuza and Haku, neither are in the game. To help tell the story, you get small bits of text explaining why you're on the mission you are on while the stage is loading, as well as cutscenes at the more important parts. The bits of text don't always follow the story, but rather fit in with the missions you take. The cutscenes, on the other hand, fit in with the story and do a very nice job at covering what happened. One of the good things about how the mission mode works is since you pick the missions, you're able to go back to earlier parts of the story without having to restart the whole thing over again. The other part of the story mode is, of course, exploring Konoha. As you complete missions, items will appear across the village. These items come in the form of scrolls, items to make ramen and unlock items in the shop, and finally, new jutsu for characters. Making new kinds of ramen increases how much chakra you have, as well as being an S-rank mission. Unlocking new items in the shop, of course, allows you to buy more items in battle to help out. Now for the bad stuff. While collecting the chests isn't bad, collecting the scrolls gets to be a chore real quick. As they are needed to unlock support jutsu, it gets really annoying real fast. Though once you get all the jutsu, you never have to worry about them again, which is the only good news on this incredibly tedious task. The other bad part are the mini-games. While welcome to help break up the fighting, soon you'll get tired of doing the same stuff over and over. The hide-and-seek game isn't too bad as you don't do it often, but the tree ones, you will do so much you will grow to hate trees. While there are slight variations of the goal of these games, they are basically the same thing. So instead of helping to break up the fights, they only serve to make you wish they didn't break up the fights. The fights take place on a 3D field that allows the player to run around freely. You move around by simply running, doing quick movements, or using chakra to dash at your opponent quickly. Your methods of attack are combos, projectiles, and of course, jutsu. The physical combos are all handled with one button, projectiles another. Jutsu were done by first hitting triangle to set them up, and then depending on which button you hit after, you will do different actions. These actions are chakra dash, chakra shuriken, and of course the jutsu you pick before the fight. The final action you can take are ultimates. These are done by hitting triangle twice and then attack. If you land that hit, you will catch your opponent in your ultimate. Here, a struggle takes place to see if your target escapes or not.
Ninja art! Inundated with flowers!
The final part of combat are awakenings. After losing a certain amount of health, if you keep charging your chakra after what your max is, your character will enter their awakened state. There are a few different effects that come with this state, from an increase in stats to complete transformations. The gameplay is simple enough to where someone can pick it up and have fun with it right away, but there's enough there that you want to dig deeper, you can learn some more advanced stuff. The game modes are rather limited to just story and verses, though there isn't much else to add, really. There is no online mode, so it's up to you to decide how important that is to you, though. The game is very strong in this category. The character roster hits most of the main characters, with the exception of Zabuza, Haku, and the Sound 4. Apart from the playable characters, the other important characters show up as support-only characters and around town. In terms of how the characters attack, they are spot on for the most part. For example, Gaara only uses his sand to attack, as well as his shuriken being made of sand. With his gates open, Lee is extremely fast, and Kankuro uses his puppets. Another thing that fits with Naruto are the substitutions. Kasame uses water clones, Guy does it on pure speed, and Gaara uses a sand clone. The jutsu for the characters are also pretty accurate, from the normal ones to the ultimates. Some of the ultimates are exaggerated. This is good or bad depending on how you feel about it. Good in the sense that they look cool, bad in the sense if you hate games making up attacks. Lastly, we have a slight variation on Hinata's ultimate if she uses it on Naruto. Apart from being incredibly cute, it also just one of those little tiny things that help show how nicely the game fits the anime.
I could do it too!
For some inexplicable reason, the game lacks a training mode. This of course makes practicing things you want to just have a dummy to beat up on rather annoying. You can work around it by just having player 2 idle of course, but health doesn't refill. Bottom line, this makes no sense at all. Another part of the story I didn't talk about before was the collection. With the money you get from finding around town and completing missions, you can buy these items from the collection. These include figures that show you the characters before fight and winning actions. Also, a few characters show off some of their attacks. These are all animations instead of simple still figures, which makes them pretty cool. The other sections of the collection are music, which lets you simply listen to all the music in the game, and the Ultimate Jutsu Viewer, which lets you view the ultimate for every character. The ones viewed here don't have the health bars on the screen, and of course, makes it easy to watch your favorites. The final part are the dioramas. By collecting certain figures, music, and ultimate jutsu, you are able to view some of the scenes from the anime. Like the figures, these are also animated, making them pretty fun addition to the game as it expands upon the story for fans and gives you some goals to get while working on collecting everything. To wrap this all up, the downloadable content for the game is free, thus making it so you can get the new pack when they come out without having to worry about them screwing you over by overcharging you. If you are a Naruto fan, this is the game for you. It will really make you feel like you are playing the anime. With how the attacks fit the characters and how pretty it looks, the game will satisfy your Naruto gaming hunger. Believe it!